Hello, Capricorn Rising. I'm Britten LaRue. This is Scopes Unshamed, and we're talking about July 2026. So, have you heard? Have you heard? July 2026 has got some pretty big astrology. You may have heard this from other astrologers. You may be an astrologer. You may be an astrology student studying this. Or maybe you didn't know. I'm going to be sharing my perspective, and especially as it pertains to you, Capricorn rising. I created Emergence Astrology, and I have the Emergence Astrology School. And this is my book, Living Astrology. Isn't it beautiful? Inviting you to consider this for your coffee table, for your bedstand. If you appreciate my voice, it's the least expensive way to go deep with me. All right. So, July 2026. Well, one of the really big things here, and there's kind of a lot of things happening this month, but a really big thing is that the three outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, they're coming into a position that allows them to have direct sight and direct conversation with one another, meaning with us, personally and collectively. So, all three of these outer planets destabilize us. That's what they do. They do it in ways that feel different one from the next, but ultimately they are destabilizers. And that can sound negative and scary, but I have found it to be true that for the most part, what they're doing is the destabilizing patterns, ways of seeing yourself, ways of living in the world that are inauthentic to you, that aren't really true to your essence because of harmful conditioning. It could have come from anywhere, caregivers to just the overculture in the world we have. So, the times that we're in big invitations with these outer planets, we tend to be invited into change. We are moving through things that are making us see how we can live in a different way. And this is uncomfortable in the sense that we humans tend to be averse to change, afraid of change. And so, how this will feel for you depends on how much practice you have at your own emergence and coming into new ways of being. So, I will say that when I look at this astrology, everything looks really helpful. Everything looks like there's just like a lot of room to move and to let the old just drop away as the new is rolling in. It's becomes more complicated because Jupiter also is going to be in this exact conversation, and they're all meeting in across from each other at the fourth degree of Aquarius, Aries, Gemini, and Leo, fire and water. And so, if you have any major things, anything in your chart at 4 degrees, in any sign, those parts of you are the most called into this. If you don't have anything within 3 degrees, I would say, of four, um, this may be like a milder experience for you than it is for your neighbors who have things around four, like my ascendant at three. So, um, yeah, that's like something to think about, like chart wise. The big invitations for you are really showing up in the sector of like money, um, home life, family of origin, health and work conditions, and like other people's money, debts, inheritances, your partner's money, your business partner's money, and So those are some of the sectors where you may see the most kind of woo. But honestly, it could kind of happen anywhere in the chart because so much is involved in this. And the moon is moving around the sky and around your chart and kind of touching base with everybody over the course of the month. So it's really like a full activation. But honestly, like the big story for you may be a little different. It may be Mercury retrograde in Cancer. That's the big story for you, Capricorn rising, because Cancer is the polar sign of Capricorn. So they're basically like one sign. I see the 12 signs really as six polarities. And this is an integrative way that like takes in the whole, which is the whole of the hemispheres of the planet. And so, Cancer for you is your seventh house of one on one partnerships, which tends to be a really important category of life for most people. That's not just romantic. Our one on ones are tend to be like the things that we cherish. We tend to cherish our one on ones. So, when the sun shines through Cancer, that whole field is getting illuminated. So, Cancer season, which will be until like 22 of July. I can't remember exactly what day the sun moves into Leo. But Mercury stationed retrograde a little before July and will be in retrograde till like the 23rd, I believe. Um, mhm. At 16, it will station direct. So right now it's moving backwards from 26, or it looks like it's moving backwards. Technically, it's not, but from the perspective of Earth, it is. The degrees that matter there are 16 to 26. So if your ascendant in Capricorn is between 16 and 26, then that means Mercury is going over your descendant, which is the opposite of the ascendant. The ascendant degree is what sets the rising sign. So you have your ascendant degree, something Capricorn. The descendant is the polarity to it. So if the ascendant is you, the descendant is you relative to the other and the counterpoint position. And no matter how much you believe you know yourself, we're always finding out more through the mirror of the other. And so, because of the retrograde, what may be most up for you because it's happening in such a big house is issues around communication with your one on one partnerships and the effect of communication on partnerships, both from you and from the others, for the others in your life. And things may just come up to get cleared. Like for me, I like to call Mercury retrograde in Cancer a case for clear requests. Um, where you learn that, like, I didn't really ask for that directly, did I? Am I naming my need directly, or am I hoping that they will figure it out? Have I named my preference for that? Or was I assuming that they should know? Meanwhile, if someone's doing that to you and you're like, hey, this is kind of exhausting. Why don't you just say it directly? I laugh at it because I grew up in such an avoidant family that it just is like, it really touches home. You mean we could ask that directly? We shouldn't spend all this energy trying to figure out what somebody wants? Yeah, I actually don't have to do that anymore. You actually don't have to. If they didn't name it, it's on them. It's not my job to figure out what they want, to figure out what they need. Like, whoa, like that has been some of the most evolving evolutions for me. Yeah. So, and for you, it may have residue from like, how you set up some of these communication patterns with like best friends growing up or your first romantic partner. Like just there's like a residue to the old ways of communicating based on old attachment patterns and our fear of being too much, and the high sensation of direct speech, of honesty, and like realizing that like patterns set around trying to like not hurt someone's feelings are actually kind of disrespectful. Like we think that they can't handle it. So let me know in the comments. Come back. Let me know in the comments if that's been coming up for you because I love to find out when my framework brought through the data. So um I think that's really about it. Capricorn rising. Thank you so much. Please subscribe and I will see you in August. Wishing you a beautiful month.